Had Carla ask a question, had some other questions, but had her ask how this does in the rain. I have not used it in the rain. I've gone through a few puddles, not much. I mean, I haven't even cleaned that off. That's just what I've had. But there's some holes there. I'm not sure I want to take this apart entirely, but there you go. There's the, oh, come on, focus. There's looks like telecommunication, probably like the BMS or something there, and different wires going in, probably for power transfer because you need larger cables to transfer a high amount of power, but little ones would only transfer data, small insignificant things. So just used a couple 10mm bolts to pull that out, but I don't know how good that's going to do in water. I don't think this was kind of a waterproof thing. I wouldn't recommend leaving this out in the rain. The only thing I'd be really worried about would be the control module up there, and then maybe this box. Might be okay against power resistance, if nothing else. Maybe you could wrap a bag around this. I don't know. Considering it's all the way up against that, I think they would assume that you're not going to be running this through deep water. If anything, I mean, considering I don't think those are going to be any kind of vent holes. Maybe try doing some kind of like some weather stripping. You can get that really cheap, couple bucks. I don't know, somewhere between $2 and $10 at Home Depot. Put that kind of a thin strip along the top, and then that way, just around the edge, and that should prevent anything from coming out or getting into it. If nothing else, maybe some kind of bag over it. Like I said, I think the back's the only place with a vent. One of the screws up here had a little bit of rust on the edge. Like I said, there's not a lot of water that got to this, so I'd really recommend not getting any water to it. I'm not super worried. This is basically a toy. I'm not planning to use it a lot. Someone else asked about trying to put the bars on, so just a sec here. Handlebars are held on like this. Push this down. Then you have to pull that, and that'll release the handlebars. This, let's see, that just adjusts it. So you can move it around a little bit. This little bell sucks. And then, yeah, you could adjust this right here for lifting the seat up and down. Of course, you twist that until it, spin that around, and then clamp it down when it's tight. Pretty standard, but did have someone ask that. Yeah, I'd probably put, 10 miles on this. Worth it for that if that's all you want to spend. There's electric, just not electric, just electric e-bike. I just saw a video review from Hobotech, and it's $1,000. Don't know a whole ton about it. I do know it is folding, so you can fold the handlebars down and then fold it in the middle so it'll fit in your trunk. Probably almost as easy as this thing does. But I think he said with modifying it, he was able to get it to go 28 miles an hour. Has a 45-mile range on the battery. $179 extra, and you can get an extra 20 miles on top of that for the upgraded battery. If you're planning on, like, if I wanted to ride to work, that take longer than just my four-wheeler or a car, because I'm about 10 miles away. But if you just didn't want to spend the money on gas, I'd go with that for 3-4 times the price of this. It's going to be a lot nicer to have a better ride and longer distance, and you can actually put a seat on the back. Like that one, it's got a nice rack, and then you can actually put a seat and handlebars on the back for a second passenger. So if you're skinny enough, I didn't see any weight other than 150 pounds on the back rack that they have. So go check that out. Watch his video, and that's something I'd recommend looking at if you want something a little bit bigger. I've been thinking about modifying my bike. I just didn't want to go through all the work of like soldering and all the extra pain to put a battery pack together, and I didn't want to spend like $1,000 on an okay-ish bike. But it seems okay. Um, I'd think about it, but I really don't have the money and don't need to spend that right now at this point. Maybe later. But between that and this, I'd over half have that paid for. Not really worth getting one of these if you don't plan on upgrading to something for a little bit more money.